Hey ladies, how you doing? So I wanted to show you guys my most used eyeshadow palettes. I am a fan of eyeshadow palettes. I prefer eyeshadow palettes over singles. There was a point in time, I'm going to show you something. There was a point in time that I used to get singles when I was, I don't know what era that was, but this is a palette I had started. And I just didn't like the aesthetics of it. I mean, I thought the palette was cute, the Sephora palette, but me is getting different kind of shades and different kind of singles. I had some circle, I had some square, I had some bigger than the necks. I just didn't like it. So I became a palette girl. And some of you guys know I love Too Faced palettes. So I do have quite a bit of Too Faced palettes, but today I'm not going to show you any Too Faced palettes. I'm going to show you my most used palettes. Because if I show you my favorite, they're all my favorite because I got them. So if I have them all, they're all my favorites. I'm going to show you my most used palette, and I'm going to show you an extra one just something that I need to start using a little bit more. So if you have that particular palette, pull it out. We're going to start using it in the near future, okay? So my first, no particular order on, you know, most used or not, but it is my Tarte Flirt palette. This little palette is so cute. I use this palette, I did some tutorials on this palette before. I'll do some more, kind of do like a nice 10-minute or 5-minute makeup look. This would be really something good to use. Not because it has less shades, it's because the shades are just so neutral and you can kind of work really quick with this particular palette, okay? I like this palette because one, I'm able to travel with it. It fits really good in my little travel bag. And if you are one of those ladies who carry like a makeup bag in your pocketbook or your purse, it's small again. So that's why I like this one. And it's the to the point makeup palette. So if you're that young lady or that woman that kind of keeps your makeup looks the same like me, this is the palette for you. You know, the shades you may look and say, oh, it might be a little bit too light. Let me tell you, once you start putting them on, layering them on, it'll give you that nice, seamless, everyday makeup look. That's why I like this. All my palettes can give you an everyday makeup look, but that's why I like this. And if you guys want to see, I like neutral palettes. I like neutral palettes. I don't really pick too many colors, but I like neutral palettes, different variations, okay? Next one up is the Wet n Wild. Super affordable. Get it at your drugstore. No more than $5. That might be pushing it. I think it was maybe $4.99, $3.99, something like that. This palette here is super cute. Mine's a little dusty, but this is the newer one. These shades here, let me show you guys. True to color. I love this transition shade here. This transition shade is good for, let me kind of show you. This shade is really good for your brow highlight. Well, when you put your concealer on, it's kind of a little bit too bright. You can tone it down with this particular shade right here. Good transition color that you can use here for your lid. And I know a lot of ladies like to say about the transition color, they don't want to be too light. I prefer mine to either be my skin tone or a little bit lighter because I'm going to put something over it. So I tend to go for something a little bit more lighter. These shades here are amazing. Only shade I have not used in this palette is this shade right here. Is that something? I need to get to use some more colors. I'm going to do some spring makeup looks for you guys. I should have one up already, but I'm going to do another one using some different shades from a different palette. I might use this one, who knows, but I definitely want to get into using some more, maybe some mauve shades, some pinky shades, and that purple and that kind of cranberry look. But yeah, this here is definitely one of my most used palettes. I got some dents in these shades here, guys. Got some good dents in here. Next up is my Soft Glam palette. It is, I don't know how girls keep it clean, but mine is definitely, you can't see it. There you go. Here's my Soft Glam palette. I cannot keep it clean, ladies. This palette here, I love it. I can use every shade in here. Every shade. Now, I don't mind using a darker shade like this on my lid because I'll use it on my my outer crease area. So that's why I don't mind this shade here. But I can use every shade in this palette and I love it. Okay? I just love it. This right here, I've been digging in it. But I finally used my Modern Renaissance palette. I done used maybe about 3 times so far. Now there's some shades in here that I might not use. It's just only 2, which is Venetian Red and Love Letter. And let me kind of bend this down. That is this shade right here and this shade right here. So I may get into it and create a spring makeup look with this shade, but I've been loving this. I love this palette, and I am mad that I waited so long to get these 2 palettes. I was definitely on the fence of getting them. I felt like the Soft Glam palette is a palette I'm going to show you for my bonus that I should use a little bit more, but I'll explain that a little bit later. Last but not least, this palette is my baby. This Kat Von D Shades and Light Eye palette. Guys, I don't care what nobody say. This was a magical palette, and I just use it. I like nude, I like browns, I like neutrals, because even though the shade may look the same, once it applies to your skin, it's going to give you a whole nother look. You can definitely, you know, deepen some areas, you can lighten some areas. You just use one shade. You can go darken, and you can kind of shade your lower lash line. You can just do so much. So these are the palettes that I use the most. I have some new and I have some old. This is a very old palette, but it ain't going nowhere. My eyes are turned pink eye. I'm not getting rid of this palette. And this is a newer one. This is a newer one, and of course we know this is new as well. You know, new as in it was bought at the end of the year to the top of the year. So yeah, so let me get into my bonus palette right here. Now I was trying to return it. I never opened it, and I let my, I think it was 30 days maybe, run out at Ulta. This is the Morphe 3502 palette. Now I didn't get the 1 because it had more of it just had some shades that I didn't really want. But the 2, I knew I wanted it because it had some really, really nice orangey shades, earthy browns. It just had everything that I wanted. And when I said, okay, I'm going to get this palette, I was like, why do I need all of these browns? But meanwhile, I'm contradicting myself because I had all these damn palettes. Don't even ask. So I tried to return it. I didn't return it. So now I have all these shades, and I need to just start using it. I'm not a big fan. I used to be a fan of bigger palettes when it came to my makeup. Back in the day, if you guys remember, like something Coastal, I don't remember the name, but those makeup brands that had these really, really huge palettes, you know, you felt like if the more was the better. I threw them all out. I tend to gravitate stuff like this, really stuff like this, because it's good for travel. But I do have this. We're going to use it, so if you have it, pull it out. We're going to be making some makeup looks with this because your girl has to use the palette just to kind of get some kind of wear and tear out of it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I want to come and show you guys my most used makeup palettes. Not my favorites, because I have a ton more that I only have a set of eyes, 2, so I can't use them all. But yeah, that's it. I want to come and show you that. Let me know down below, what are some of your favorite palettes? What are your most used palettes? And what would you recommend for me to get once we can go shopping and get some new makeup? So hey to all my new subscribers. Hey to all my loyals. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.